Okay, I'm super jet lagged. Got in last night, pitch black at this Airbnb, but it's kind of the filmmaker's dream, this spot. If your bed right here, and I just noticed a glowing coming through this, opened up the curtains, and here's my view. But this is just the craziest reds all right here. Come on. It never gets old. Never gets old to me. Love my hair. Okay. I want to put my camera down and just enjoy this. All right, in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down shots, showing them here on my laptop from a shoot we just did. It was a commercial for Blue Star Nutraceuticals. I'm gonna go over each shot. This is kind of a run and gun style shoot. We just had the Fx3. We used a light maybe once, but I wanna show you, no lights, no problem, how to get the most out of your shoot when it's low budget. And I'm gonna show you each shot and break down how we approached this and why we're talking about the Fx3 and why we actually did this shoot is because we're giving away the Fx3. All the information's down below and I'll talk about a bit more about that later. And why we're giving it away is because Black Friday is coming up and we're doing a flash sale for the Art of Documentary Academy, but more on that later. But right now, let's jump into this and talk about run and gun filmmaking, how to get the most out of your camera. When you have no lights, it's not a problem. My first tip is you need to control the house lights, but you need to embrace them as if they're your film lights. So essentially they're locked into their positions, but you can control them by blacking them out, by unscrewing light bulbs, or just by simply turning them off. So when we came into this gym, one of the first things we did is we figured out where the lights were, and it was 2 sections. There was like 12 lights on one side and 8 lights on the other side. But that was just too much light. That was light everywhere. So we got on a ladder and we started turning them off. And in the end, we only left 1 or 2 lights on. We kind of treated them like they were overhead Kino bulbs on our set. Now, there was different times that we'd have to turn off one side of the room and turn on the other. And we just decided that it's okay that the continuity changes. What's most important is that our characters look good. You can actually see this first shot of Quinn here in the gym. This looks like something that we perhaps would have lit. We have this beautiful Rembrandt triangle on his face right here and this warm glow, giving us some nice contrast on that side, and then this beautiful edge light. And this is just positioning him near the window so that the light that was coming in was bouncing off some of the equipment. You can see it's hitting here in the back, but he was getting that ambient sunlight coming in. And then above him, that's just one fluorescent bulb that was giving him that hair light. So this first shot too of Joel when he's putting the wood into the fire. We initially, when he came into the building, the lights were on in that side of the room. We needed that so that he was silhouetted. But then when he came to the fire, we actually turned off the lights on that side of the room and turned on the lights on the other side of the room so that we had this edge light while he's looking into the fire. We have the beautiful orange glow coming off the fire, and then again, we have that edge light from the other side of the room. I love this challenge when I go into a space. I look at where the lights are, and I embrace that. And then I have to decide where should my character go in relation to those lights. Do you hear that? That's the sound of plates. They're part of my tripod today. I think I want more plates. Ho ho. Some of you warned me that this little Manfrotto tripod would start sucking one day, and it certainly has. My next point is timing is everything. I suggest before you get to a shoot, just take 10 minutes and get on a website, I believe it's Shadow Maps, or get on Sunseeker and begin seeing where the light's gonna be. So we shot this scene with Quinn and Joel in the gym later in the day because we knew the sun would be coming through the windows. And for these running shots, you can see, we knew the position. We knew the sun would be dappling through the forest here. And with the Helios, we're getting that crazy flare. I think it comes, oh, there it is. Oh, love that flare. Just stunning. We decided to do lunch when the light was at its highest part in the day. That's when we came into this restaurant. And then on the beach, we just shot from this one direction pointing towards them with the sun coming down. You've heard it before, you gotta point your camera towards the sun in order to get that strong backlighting. And my little tip is if you don't have the chance to shoot backlight, you have to shoot front light. Make your camera movements more dynamic, because then you'll at least get to see some shadows changing. There's some moments here when they're wrestling when we weren't shooting backlit, but we kept the camera moving, and this is where you get some flares and you'll get some shadows and you'll get that change of depth. which is also why I love shooting on a camera like the FX3. It's just so easy to maneuver around, especially when you have that top handle. I like having a big monitor on there so that I can see all the focus and I can watch it with my LUT and just run around. Now you can put the LUT on the FX3 internally as well, but I just find I'm not a big fan of just shooting off the LCD, as you've heard me say many times. My next tip is embrace the suck. If something is going to be very bright, just embrace it. You can see the shot with Joel and Quinn here. I let it be hot sunlight. That's what sunlight does sometimes, is it clips things even to our eyes. I'm looking out this window right now and there's a white wall that my eyes can't expose to. So it happens in life. Now, I'm always preaching to protect your highlights, but like I'm saying, in these scenarios where it really is just so hectic, is just embrace it. The snow out here on the ground, we just let that blow out, because really what's important is the relationship between Quinn and Joel here. And to be honest, I don't mind a high contrast shot, even if our characters are practically in silhouette. It's dynamic, it's cinematic. Speaking of cinematic, we are reopening the doors to the art of documentary. Just really briefly, a lot of you have been asking to jump back into AOD. You missed our last launch in September, where it's only available to purchase a few times a year. And what is AOD? Well, if you don't know that, you've never been on my channel. It's called The Art of Documentary. It's our course and academy. We have 5 courses in Art of Documentary with nearly 300 videos between the 5 of them. And we have a new course that we just released called Cinematography. We've been updating it throughout this fall, adding new, more in-depth tutorials with cinematographers like Nick Pilecki, where he actually gives you the full breakdowns of his entire shoots. And we're doing a crazy Black Friday sale starting on Black Friday at noon. So you can jump in there, save up to 40% off, I think even 50% off on some of our products. And our contest to win the FX3 will be ending end of day on Black Friday. So make sure to go sign up down below. All the instructions are there. And leave any questions below about Art of Documentary if you want to know more about it. We've actually seen just thousands of filmmakers make their first documentaries and increase their business revenue. We've been so grateful to be able to take that to a community worldwide. Also, thank you for everyone in Berlin who showed up to our meetup. That was super fun. So don't miss this chance to join Art of Documentary. Our doors don't open again until April 1st, 2024, so it'll be quite some time. We're just doing this flash sale for Black Friday because so many of you have wanted to join. So this is your chance with huge discounts, up to 50% off, especially when you're doing those big bundles. I think it's like almost 40% off for all 5 courses. So shoot us a message if you have any questions. Let's get back to the tutorial. Another quick tip. If you can't get close to your character, embrace the wide. We are able to shoot so many scenes when we go out filming. I think we shot 12 different scenes, 12 different locations in just about 8 hours with Joel. But if you can't get the up close shot, just embrace the wide. And why this is important is the time you take, like in this case of walking down this valley and trying to chase them up the hill, would have just burnt maybe half an hour. It probably would have got muddy and the day might have been over if we dropped the camera. So we embraced this crazy big wide of them running up the hill. We couldn't get up close with them, so then wide shots like this are just spectacular. They're so different than everything else. Getting these shots will help you actually create more interest in your edit. In terms of this shot here as well, I know I was talking about embrace the suck, like letting things clip, but sometimes your sky is almost one of the characters in the shot. So in this case, I exposed the shot for the sky because these clouds really would have been clipping. But I think this frame is way more interesting. Even though this is the middle of the day, it looks like almost like some sort of moonlit thing. Having the sky here exposed, I threw a bit of a grain on the shot, makes it way more interesting than had I actually, you can see, I don't have any adjustments here. This is how I exposed it in camera. But let's say I had exposed it so that we get all the shadow detail on them. It's just a way less interesting shot when it's that bright. Another tip. If you don't have lighting for an interview, either get some shears for the person's face and get them near a window, or do what we did and just shoot audio only for the interview. Sometimes I like to just do audio only interviews for my films because it forces me to be more of a filmmaker. What I mean by that is it's tempting for a lot of people to show a lot of their interview in their film, but this is kind of boring footage of just people sitting in a seat talking to camera, kind of like this right now.
That is correct.
That's why you want to have lots of B-roll. And when I only record audio for my interview, it forces me to have to shoot scenes, have to shoot dynamic footage, and really be thinking about the edit, because I'm not just thinking, well, I'll just show them talking for the scene, or I'll show the B angle. No, I actually have to be a filmmaker. And a quick thing too, if you're wondering, did I get enough shots for a scene? Like when do you move on? Well, if you have these 5 shots, you'll know you'll be able to move on because you'll know you'll be able to edit the scene together. That's the wide, the face, the action, the detail, the exit. As long as you have a wide establishing the location where we are, the person arriving, you can start the scene with that. If you have their face, we know who it is. You need to get some close shots of the person's face at some point. Then we need the action. We need to see what's actually unfolding. Are they fighting? In this case, them on the hill here. We have the shot of Joel's back, that's them walking towards it. And we have the action of Quinn putting on the boxing gloves. Then we have them actually boxing. Then you need some details. We need to see little bits of the environment. That was like for the scene back in the gym, that was the hand going into the fire. These are the details. These help us feel a bit more of what's going on. It isn't just all action. It's the space, it's the place, it's the texture. This is where you want to shoot the environment. And then your exit shot. That can be anything. You know, when they were tossing this tire, we shot this side of this building with all the water dripping. Kind of a weird shot, but it's a weird way to exit. It gets us out of the world. Or these aerials, when I needed to transition to another location, down to the beach. I just got one shot on my drone of the water coming in towards the shoreline. And this established that we're going somewhere new, and it was also an exit shot from the last scene. And my last tip, and this is always overlooked by so many filmmakers, is consider audio as important as your visuals. So for me, I'm thinking throughout the day, have I got at least 3 to 4 moments where my character is talking to someone?
Hopefully there'll be a tree or some shit. We could hang the kick pad, maybe belt some kick pads, throw over some rocks, find some heavy shit, run around, drop them. Do our usual crazy shit. Yeah.
Where something's happening and I'm seeing them interact with their world or the people around them, that we get to hear either the audio of what's happening. So is it Joel hitting that punching bag? The sound of the chain, or the sound of the fire? Or better yet, life is built up from our interaction with other people. So we'll let real-time moments unfold and we'll record for 3, 4, 5 minutes straight if there's a conversation happening.
Intention with those punches, Quinn. Think of how he's gonna react. How are you gonna counter that?
So when Joel's coaching Quinn here, this was so important. That audio was as important as any cool shot of them running or down at the beach. Your audio is a character in your film. Don't ever overlook that. Awesome. Well, I hope this helped, guys. I've had the opportunity to work on sets with $1 million budgets, but then also ones in the case of this, which I think we had like $4,000 from the client. So we had to make it work. And so when you only have that little tiny budget, you got to get creative. And this is where we just decided, you know what? We could spend time lighting each scene and making it look perfect, but I would rather get way more shots, them tossing rocks, them tossing a tire, them running, them having their protein shakes, because this is of course the client's product. There's a time and a place to treat your shoots like a studio and maybe just get 5 good shots in a day. But I like having lots of different moments so that it feels like a whole movie is unfolded in just 3 minutes. Let me know if you have any questions about this shoot. I'll be releasing this film pretty soon on this channel, and then I can do a Q&A about it if you would like. And if you want to see more about this, I could do a breakdown in the cinematic eye if you'd like. If you're part of that course, let me know below. I'm gonna get back to editing. The sunsets here in Spain are insane. They're absolutely insane. Every day is the most magical sunset. It's just incredible.
Sunrises.
Sunrises. Yes, you're right. Thank you, Santi. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for showing me your country. I'll promise you I'll learn Spanish one day. I shouldn't make promises I can't keep. All right, see you in the next one.